Hey, what's going on, everyone? TechLo's back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little bit of my project, just an update of where I'm at. It's the Hyperspin project, and so I got two channels. I have the TechLos channel and I have the BitLos channel. TechLos is just about technology, gadgets, just the virtual world, right? And also the culture that comes along with that. And then of course the BitLos channel is your cryptocurrencies and my journey with Bitcoin and the other altcoins that are out there. So just to share with you guys, this has been a hobby of mine. I'm really trying to step it up. Obviously, I've gotten a little bit better production value with the mic, my new build, new camera, new speakers, new software, everything, right? And the reason why I'm doing that is I was struggling with it over the years of doing videos because consumed by work, and also my PC that's downstairs, my Mame, which is a home theater PC, is used by the family, right? So it's hard to manage work and people using the computer and then recording and screencasting and all that stuff. So I've kind of only done videos when I had time to do it, and now I'm going to get more on a structured plan, right? And the biggest joy that I get out of doing this is, like, it's funny, my wife talks about, like, it's not helping people set up a Blu-ray player or hook up a receiver. It's so much more than that. And sometimes myself being so involved in technology, I forget that people don't know about some of the stuff that I'm doing. I mean, to give you an example with the video games, like I got the light gun set up. That's one project. So this is called the Aim Track software that lets you use a light gun at home. Then there's the overall Hyperspin project that I'm working on, which we're going to talk about right now, and other types of front ends for video games, and Cody and all this other stuff. So I'm going to do a real quick overview of the overall basic stuff that I'm doing. I'm going to start with Hyperspin. So we're going to bring that up here. I got my Xbox 360 controller here.
Hyperspin.
Alright, so for the most part, I have Hyperspin running very well now. It's been a long road. You can buy this pre-assembled. It's going to cost you like $400 or $500 to do that, and I've been working on it probably for 5 years, off and on. But for the most part, I really do have it working. As you can see here, I have all the arcade cabinets, games. So I couldn't even tell you how many there is. Thousands and thousands of arcade cabinets. On this build here. This is running the Mame, right? Let's go. So you can skip through and look at, different sections, and I actually have them broken down into Atari Classics, Capcom Classics, Data East, Ireme, and the rest of them: Konami, Midway, Namco, Nintendo, Sega, Taito, and then the shooting games, right? And a lot of popular consoles, right? And some that you guys don't know about. But we'll take a look at Super Nintendo just to give you an example. So these are either the routes, either the consoles themselves or the overall brand. Like, for instance, we have Cave, which is a type of arcade games that there is out there too. But anyways, we'll look at Super Nintendo. And once you go in, you get all the video games, the games of the console. And you get some videos playing and some images. Some of them will have box art like this one. So this is pretty cool. And this is like the final overall product. And this does run on a PC, but it can run on Android. You're not going to be able to play your super high-end ones like the Sega M2 are going to have problems, or maybe Sega Saturn, which is a CD-based. You'll have problems with it, but for the most part, you can play a lot of these on Android. It is possible. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of that, and I'm going to show you guys the brains behind all this. So back in the day when we used to program for Hyperspin, we didn't have, you know, stuff like this. So this is, it's a UI, and the best way for me to explain it is it's just the way technology has moved, right? At work, you know, years ago when I wrote when I did payroll or anything like that, or I was doing a forecasting plan, sales plan or something like that, I did it all by hand, right? Wage rates and sales and all this stuff like that. It was all done by hand. Well, now there's Excel spreadsheets. You know, you type in what you want and it does it for you. And it's very similar to what's going on nowadays in this scene. When I first started with Hyperspin, I would have to go into like databases, and I'll go into Atari 7800 here, and I would have to edit these lines of code for me to be able to change everything from just keyboard controllers to how big a graphic was on the screen, to which games came up. All these things were done in code here, right? Now you don't have to do that no more, because now you have this UI that kind of does it for you. So while the Hyperspin part of it is Flash and Pizzazz, this is the brain of it, and this is, you know, where you have your settings and your modules and your games, and you know, setting up keypads and stuff like that. So like if I go over to Mame here, and you see the Mame, I have special key mappers, right? So that when this Mame is opened, it'll bring up an X-Patter so that I can use my 360 controller, right? So it's just way more easier. It's still pretty complicated, but it's a lot easier than it used to be, right? So nowadays, if you know, for me, I don't really even bring up Hyperspin no more, because it's, you know, I just use like the kind of the boring software to bring it up. But if I want to play some games, I'll just come in here and I'll open them off of here. So let's say I want to do some, let's say TurboGrafx 16. I'll go into the games, and this will load them. And basically, when I say it's the brain, it has to work in here for it to work over here on Hyperspin, right? But let's say I want to play some Bonk's Revenge. I'll go ahead and load it.
Loading complete.
And now I'm playing some Bonk's Revenge. So that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and escape out of there. So yeah, this is just one of my projects here. It's the Hyperspin project, and it's pretty interesting. So one of the things that I wanted to do is I'm going to start doing some reviews of some of these old games, classics. You know, some of them are just, you know, fun to watch and stuff like that, and just explore. A lot of people don't even know about some of these systems, like the Sammy Thomas Wave. A lot of people don't even really know. And there's some really fun, you know, classic games that either I didn't get to play because they were only in Japan or Europe, but it's actually pretty cool. And then when it comes to, you know, emulating, which, you know, a lot of you guys know, I have almost all the consoles. It's a mess back there, but I have all the consoles, literally all of them back there. Everything that was mainstream US I have, and even a couple Japanese consoles. So, you know, this is kind of one of the things that I'm playing with, and it's very interesting. It's called Hyperspin, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So see you guys in the next video.